Hey, what's up, guys? WhirlXbow back here, and today we are playing some Reno Pally. Why? I don't fucking know. You guys assume I know anything at this point? If you guys do, please rethink your positions. But no, we're playing Reno Paladin. Um, I wanted to play Reno Paladin. I was looking for Reno Paladin lists online. They all play Uther, and I'm like, that's not exactly what I want to do. But I want to play Reno Pally, therefore it's kind of like the only option. I feel like, and to be fair, it is a very, very good win con, but it's not. I want to go more like the tempo beatdown route and try to beat my opponent with big things, but it's the meta just doesn't allow you really to do that anymore. So using Uther as the main win con, it works, I guess. Besides that, how about we queue up the first one and let's see how it goes. Alright, guys, yeah. With that being said, I will see y'all there. Alrighty. First matchup, Druid. What is Druid playing at the moment? It has to be a combo deck of some sort. And for the most part, I feel like this is just really good against most combo decks. Right? Like, say it is spell damage. Right? Thorum or Thorith plus Divine Brew is just good. It's just like a solid way to win the game. Don't know if it's realistically gonna end up working out the way I'm hoping it does. But if he costs him 3 spells to break our bubble in the first place, then we start taking damage, it might just be good enough, especially because Divine Brew has multiple charges and everything, but it's probably just coin this out on 4 and just Prage at that point. Okay. Hero power pass. Also, as we're getting into this game, I hope everybody has a beverage. I'm drinking myself a beer. It's not a normal beer that I normally drink. Normally I'm drinking IPAs. I know they're not for everyone. I personally really like the flavor that, at least the company I work with, we create a lot of unique IPAs. Like, actually recently, 6 days ago, we released them. We made Star Wars beers for May the 4th. We have both a light side and a dark side. They're both IPAs. I've yet to try them. I have 2 of each sitting in my fridge. But I promised my brother would be like, yeah, we'll have them together, you know? And the more I'm thinking about it, I have my other brothers coming into town on Wednesday, and I'm like, you know what? Let's wait till Wednesday and let's have them then, and this way we could all experience them for the first time together. I think it would be great. Okay, so it's Astral. So let's nuke his mana a little bit while raising ours. But yeah, they're 2 new IPAs. I really want to try them, but yeah, as I said, I'm not on my word. I'm gonna wait till my brother's in town. To be fair, I say that, and yet there's 1,000 times I feel like I promised something to the channel, and I've never delivered on it. Not out of not trying, but more out of honestly exhaustion, but I will not use that as an excuse. Yeah. We theoretically have the win in hand. We just need to draw Uther at this point. This deck is not playing Lord Keeper. Oh, that is such a filthy draw. That is probably the best draw in his deck. Feels bad. Trade, kill this, poke face for 12. Zephrys doesn't have lethal, does he? I don't think so. I don't think he even comes close realistically. Dredge draw. Let's just draw this. Don't know if this is really a good card to pick here, but try to abuse Divine Shields. I feel that should be fine. But yeah, as I was saying, like, to be fair, the brother I want to share them with doesn't like IPAs at all. They're not his go-to drink, especially when it comes to beers. But it's still one of those things that I think it'd be cool for us all to try them together, type shit. Because they're both big fans of Star Wars. Personally, I've seen the first two movies, like episode 1 and 2. The rest of the knowledge I have of Star Wars legitimately comes from Star Wars Lego, which is a little weird. I won't deny the fact, but Star Wars Lego is a pretty good game. If you guys have not played through or even experienced a little bit of it, would highly recommend. The end of your turn, give your hero Divine Shield. So we're gonna try to eat his board here. Hopefully these punch bubbles so they just die. Or that. Oh wait. Hold up. Hold the phone. Trade this in here. Play weapon. 11, 19. Xaxes. You can actually do it like it's a little bit above Xaxes, but we just need to make sure this is the lowest attack. Sure. Woo! We got there. Oh, I'll take it. I will take it. First game won, and we won the way I wanted to win, which is punching my opponent in the dome with minions and not using a combo. So, I'm happy with that. Anyways, let's skip the next one. Demon Hunter. Probably quest line? Our lowest card calls. Actually, not a bad card here. Just smell this. I want to jump back into the fact that I haven't... Well, this card's terrible now. I haven't seen most of Star Wars. And, you know, most people I tell that to, first of all, they don't believe me, but it is absolutely true, and I have no way of realistically proving it, but it is true. I've only watched the first two movies. It's the same thing where actually me and a friend at one point, we got into a big fight. Partially because, again, I'll be honest, most TV shows and movies that people say you need to watch, I've never seen. Like, if it's not an original Disney movie, probably have not seen it. Or it was not a kids movie. Like, basically, I spent probably from like 10 to like 20, like 10 years straight, not watching movies. And the only times I'd ever see a movie is my cousin for his birthday every single year would go see whatever the newest Avenger movie was, or the newest Marvel movie is. That goes to show how much I actually know about these series, right? Like, it's never been something that I've been really, really interested in. Therefore, I've never really wanted to dive into learning more about it or watching more of it. Like, if we want to take Marvel movies, I saw The Winter Soldier. I think at this point I've probably seen every single Avenger movie, like the actual Avenger movie. I've seen Captain Marvel. I know for a fact I haven't seen any of the Hulks, any of the Iron Man. Have I seen any of the Captain America? I saw Winter Soldier, I believe. Did I see what? It's actually getting hard to think of what I've seen and what I haven't seen. I haven't seen all the John Wicks. Like, I haven't seen any of the Harry. I should say I haven't seen any of the Harry Potters. I watched the last 20 minutes of one of the Harry Potter movies. Don't know which one. They were at a lake, like a pond lake thing at one point throughout the movie. It's the only fucking thing I know. Didn't really pay attention to it. I was busy playing Pokemon. It was while I was on vacation. We had just come back from I don't know if that was one of the nights we were at, like one of like the disco rave party nights, or it was the casino night that was happening at the resort we were at. Prage? This game is trash. Take this. I'm not 1,000% sure which night it was, but we had came back. May or may not have been a little bit, lots bits drunk. You know, it was an all-inclusive resort, and we were gambling. It was either we were gambling or we had a rave for like 4 hours. You don't expect me to drink my body weight in alcohol during those nights? Fuck. It was a good time though. Drank a I took it as my personal mission to try and bankrupt the resort we were staying at solely on alcohol tabs. Failed at it, turns out. Turns out when they're giving you like the super cheap shit, it doesn't really matter how much you drink. But like I watched like the last 20 minutes of it, but I was like also partially playing. I was either playing Pokemon or I was playing Clash of Clans on my phone. It was like one of the two. And yeah. That's, to be fair, kind of what I do, you know. Fuck. But yeah, so like I haven't seen, realistically, if I want to count it, I haven't seen any of the Harry Potters, haven't seen Star Wars. I watched like the first 2 Star Trek movies that came out while I've been alive. I think it's like 2008, 6. I'm not. It was when I was a kid. If you assume I remember dates from when I was a child, it's bold. I don't remember most things, so yeah. Besides that, have I really seen any other big movie? Not that I can think of. Like I watched the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. Is that what the name of the movie was? I don't fucking remember. Besides that, I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at one point. What's an E.T.C? Sure, let's do that. Do that into that. That's fine. Besides that, is there any big movies I've watched that I can remember? Not really. I'll be honest, not really. Like that's the thing. It's like I've just never really been into movies. Same thing with TV shows. Like honestly, like I haven't seen Breaking Bad. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. That's all I've seen. Haven't watched like Game of Thrones. Like I know of all these things because I've had friends tell me stories about them or tell me like, "Oh, you should watch this." I haven't watched basically any animes. A lot of my friends and people I know like love to watch anime, but like I haven't watched like what was it, Full Metal Alchemist or like the sequel. Haven't, basically all those things I have not fucking watched. Partially because it was never really something that too much interested me, therefore I was like, why would I watch this? I want to play this. Sure. What's this give me? Sure. Let's draw a card here. Draw Reno. Fine. But like yeah, any of the big animes that people typically mention, like the only anime I've watched from, alright, to be fair, I know there's new seasons I haven't seen. But it's like I watched the Castlevania thing that came out on Netflix. But besides that, really haven't watched much else. Just again, it's one of those things that just has never like I've never been like I watch YouTube. I'm one of those kids that grew up watching YouTube and will basically only watch YouTube. Like I'll watch random like actually the big thing I think I mentioned this, but like the big thing I've been really into watching recently is people that like 100% play through games. Like I believe his name is Shawnee Do. Does like basically it's a whole bunch of content on 100% of games and his experience 100% of the games. Or the other big YouTuber I've been watching is like Chupo, who does like documentaries of random topics basically. Like he did one throughout like the whole story of Wizard 101, but he also does it for like Crash and like fucking Pop Tarts or you know Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like those type of things. Like that's what I enjoy watching. That's why it's like the main thing I end up watching. What? Sorry? Did not expect to lose that way. I'll be honest. Alright. I guess let's queue up the next one. Alright. Warrior. The only other type again, this might sound weird, but there's like only two other realistic content that I consume. I guess three if you can count music. Pretty sure if you go through my YouTube watch history, 3/4 of it is actually just music. So no matter what I'm doing, like if I'm working on videos or whatever, or I'm playing video games, like I'll typically have music and I'll just like have like music videos be playing in the background. But like the only other two real type of content I consume nowadays is cooking content. Like I love to watch people like, because I like to learn more about food. So like people like making dishes I've never seen or doing like inventing dishes or whatever. Like or just like to learn more about different styles of cuisine that I've never really dived into personally. So like, you know, if you guys know anything about like cooking channels, like I guess it's like the big ones, but it's like Joshua Weissman or Sam the Cooking Guy, Binging with Babish. Like those are like the type of shit I watch. That or it's just like things about animals. I love to watch if you guys know like Chandler's Wildlife, like he's the guy who owns a property down in Florida. I believe he's like he has like a whole bunch of snakes and crocs, and he has a really adorable pet otter, and it made me want to get a pet otter. I won't lie. I would love to have a pet otter. They look so cute. But like that type of shit. That's what I watch on a daily. Right? So like when most people tell me like, yo, I've been watching this, it's like so good, you should like give it a check out. I'm like, yeah, okay, sounds good. I will watch it eventually. But also realistically, knowing me, I'm never gonna fucking watch it just because I have a hard time sitting through an entire piece of content if I'm not interested in it. Like same thing with TV shows, same thing with movies. Which is the main reason I don't watch movies. Because as soon as there's like a down period in a movie, where it's just like story building or whatever, because I'm not into the story, I get bored and I'll turn off the movie. Right? Like the amount of times I've watched like say like the first like half an hour of a movie and I just turned it off and like this is not what I want to be watching is higher than I care to admit. It's ridiculously high. Steel Odin? This game is too fucking easy. But yeah, like it's just the type of thing, right? Where everybody has their own like likes and dislikes when it comes to content and what they enjoy to watch. I like to enjoy I enjoy watching things that are like I have an interest in. Like it's the only other real thing I watch is like science shit, right? I love to learn more about science, like nuclear physics, which again, it sounds weird because like that's something like people go to school for. And I acknowledge it, like if I would go to school for it, I'd fucking hate every moment of it. But because it's something that I could sit down at my own pace and watch and learn at my own pace type shit, I know more about nuclear physics than I think most people would know realistically that's not in the field and that's not studying the field. Just because it's something that I really liked for like 6 months. And as much as I still really enjoy it and I think it's still like cool to learn about, I can never see myself following a career in that type shit. But no, to be fair, there's very, very few things I could see myself ever following a career in. But at one point I was like, when I got really into it, like I was looking up like schools near me that offered like degrees in the nuclear physics fields that I wanted to pursue. And turns out there was none, and like the closest one is like fucking like 8 hours away, and I'm like, I definitely meant to play this. Oh, he got mad that I stole this. Fun times. But like yeah, it's like 8 hours away, and I'm like, first of all, like I looked at like the pre-requires, I'm like, I have none of these. Besides like a science degree. Right, because it's technically a computer science degree, at least in C-Shep would transition, and it'd be like, I would be able to theoretically apply through that, but it's not what I would want to do. Honestly, like, if I was forced to learn it, I would not be interested. Must be the fucking ADHD in my brain, but it is what it is. Anyways, maybe we'll actually talk about Hearthstone in the next game. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Anyways, let's skip the next one. Alright, Priest. It could be one of like 12 different decks, I think. No. It's Aggro Priest, but I don't want to play against Aggro Priest, so I'm not going to put that thought in my mind that it is Aggro Priest. Big brain. There's something else I wanted to say about the topic we were just talking about. It's not. This card was a bad keep. Or it is. This card was a good keep. Card still could potentially be a good keep. Shut the fuck up. I don't care what you have to say. What was it? It had something else to do with this. Oh yeah. It had to come, I guess it didn't really have to do with it, but it kind of like ties into like the whole thing where I can't do something that I'm not interested in. Like I'm fully interested in. But like, you know, I feel like most people have been told this at one point throughout their lives. I've been told that more times than I realistically care to admit throughout my life, so might be why I'm willing to talk about it, but oh my god, poke there. Woo! But let's like, you know when people would tell you like you shouldn't do something that feels like work? If something feels like work to me, I instantly cannot do it. I don't think it has to do with people telling me that, like, all throughout my life and whatnot. But if I sit down and something actually feels like work, there's a 0% chance I can do it. Everything that I can do, like, I noticed it when I was working in the tech world. Just still kind of weird that I'm still working towards that degree, but that's a topic for another day. Let's get some armor. But when I sit down and something actually feels like work, I legitimately cannot do it. Like, there is zero hope in my head for me to be able to do it. I'm just so uninterested in it that my brain shuts down and I cannot work towards it. It's bad how bad it is. Like, he has a coin and one card. I feel confident slamming this. and then just slam, like, hero power slam this, and hopefully that's fine. But, like, when I was in the tech world, again, I've worked, at this point, 3 jobs in the tech world. One was at an AI startup, one was at a neuroscience company, and one was at a defense agency. It's the only one I believe my NDA is up, technically, but I still cannot. I don't feel legally comfortable talking about most of what I did there. It had to do with. I can talk about what it had to do with, but I can't talk about specifics, but it had to do with, like, military shit. Therefore, a lot of it's, like, under fucking tight wraps. Like, I had to get fucking security clearance to work there. Type shit. Like, it was fucking... It was a wild ride, but... I can talk about my experience working there, I think. And if I can't, and they sue me, well, fuck me. You guys will not hear from me again. But... it's gonna be what's gonna be. I'm gonna talk about that in the next game. Alright. Next game, Warlock, probably Quest. If I had to guess, it'd be Quest. So, I'm gonna, you know what? I kind of also just decided to say fuck it. I'm gonna talk about it because I want to. I won't give any specifics of the job or the company, partially because I don't know if I can talk about those. I wouldn't mention the company anyways, partially because I had a miserable time working with them. And I met some very cool people through that job. Like, I met a guy, to be fair, guy is very, very successful. He's a multi-millionaire. And, like, I met him through the job. And it's one of the few people from that job that I will still talk to occasionally. When I say occasionally, I'll message him on his birthday. So, like, happy birthday, man. We should catch up over a fucking cup of coffee. To be fair, guy's, like, also, like, 60, 70. He's like an older gentleman. But he's, like, also is, like, a very down-to-earth person. And, was, like, one of the coolest people I ever met. And he didn't directly work with the company. He was like an investor for the company and whatnot, but he was just genuinely like a really good guy. And I met him by chance at the Christmas party, partially because, like, he had brought, like, a really nice bottle of wine, and I'm like, oh, that's like a nice bottle of wine, like, you know, like, the region of France it's from. He's like, you know, it's a French wine. I'm like, yeah, like, cooking is something I've always been interested in, therefore, like, I like look for that type of thing. And we ended up having, like, a 4-hour conversation sitting at it was hosted at one of the co-owner's house, and we were just, like, sitting at their kitchen table, and we were just, like, drinking the bottle of wine, and he was, like, talking to me about, like, his travels and, like, that type of shit. And it was a great time, and I really enjoyed myself, and I super respect that guy because he was, like, one of those really, really wealthy people that didn't let it show. I've met my fair share of very wealthy people that let that type of shit show, you know? Like, you'll sit down and they will... Where the fuck is my hex? What are these options? Sure, I guess. But, like, we sat down and, like... to be fair, I noticed what car he fucking pulled up in a Ferrari. It was the middle of the winter, which is, like, the wildest thing. Like, if you know anything about living in the north, winter shit's full of snow. Pulled up in a fucking Ferrari. Gorgeous car. He let me sit in it. Very nice car. I will never personally want to own a Ferrari. It's not the fancy sports car I'd want to own. Sat in my fair share of very, very nice cars. It also made me realize that a Ferrari is the last one I would want to own personally. Steal something good out of his hand. Sure, I guess that's fine. Refresh your hero power, baby. Cool. How did I know that's what it's going to discard? But it is what it is. But yeah, my just experience as a whole working at that company was just not pleasant. Didn't enjoy the work. My coworkers that I work with every single day, they were chill, but they were also, I don't know how many of you guys have ever worked in the tech world or have ever talked to someone that works in the tech world, but in my, I want to say limited experience, but in my experience as a whole, people that work in the tech world tend to think they are hot shit and that they are God's greatest gift to the planet. And I don't get along well with that type of person. Personally, like I just don't get along with them. Um Partially because I'm like, if you think you're better than me and you have no fucking merit to back it up, shut the fuck up and back the fuck off. Is kind of my mentality. But like these people are like the people I was working with was like, I have a master's degree in this, therefore I am better than you at no matter what the fuck you can imagine ever doing. Type shit. Like they were like the super stuck up people, and they would like flaunt like what they'd have to you. And I personally do not get along well with the people that like to flaunt shit. Like personally, when people start flaunting shit, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. What are you as an actual human being? And most people are just terrible when it comes to being an actual human being. Go figure. Again, I have no problems admitting that because, again, I think if you have a problem admitting the person you are to people, that's when the real issues arise because you're starting to pretend to be something you're not. Which is why, like, everybody I know, again, I am I'm a very held back person. Like I don't like talking about myself. The sole exception is what I'm doing on YouTube. Partially because I feel like this is like, I hate using the word a safe space, but it's this place where I can be me and not care because it's the same reason why 99% of the people I know don't know I make YouTube content. It's just I want to be able to say whatever the fuck I want and not worry about people being like, but you said this and I didn't like, shut the fuck up, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Get mad at me if you want. Cool. If you can't get past it, fuck off. I don't care. It's a very interesting way of looking at life, but it's how I've always personally looked at life. This fucking portal is hard to beat. Sure, let's take that. There are still some good cards in my deck, right? Not really. I guess there's E.T.C. E.T.C doesn't really have anything for me though. Just timeout, I guess. But yeah, it's yeah. I feel like very few people relate to like the way I live life and my personal principles, but I also don't care enough. I'll be honest. I don't know where I was going on this whole ass fucking side tangent. I won't lie. I've had a couple beers tonight. Might be a little buzzed, living my best life type shit, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, like just to say, like working at that company was just, it was not pleasant. It also made me realize that I fucking hate the entire industry. So that's also probably ain't a great thing when you're studying a field and you're like, I hate everything about this field. I should have feared powered before I played either of those. This is a dead card. Yeah, it's definitely is not great when you realize that, but at least the jobs pay well. Just clearly the most important thing, right? Just kidding, that's a fucking lie. Okay, I'll take that. Let's... I hate the fact that it doesn't remove the fucking portal. But yeah, like I work at that company is miserable. If I working at the first company, the tech the AI startup I worked at, it's actually funny enough. I check in on that company every once in a while because I know they have a YouTube channel, or since I helped them set it up. Um, and it brings me a certain level of joy that their videos get less views than mine. They're just like out of a personal thing. And I'm still in talks with one of the people because I met a good friend like working at that company. And we still talk on occasion. And I don't talk to many people too often, just for the nature of not liking to talk to people. Um, I don't talk to a lot of the people too often, but I do on occasion type shit. And it just it brings a certain level of joy to me to know that that company is not in a great place. Might make me an asshole. Don't care. Um, but it does bring me some small level of joy. We've lost this game, by the way. I'm just gonna concede. Um, yeah, it brings me some small level of joy to know that a company that when I was working for them said they're like the new hot thing is not doing great. Like they haven't signed a new contract in since I left there in like 2018. Just brings me a small level of joy of knowing that every single thing I brought up to the CEO was a small start. We were a team of like 8 people. 8 people? 9 people. I brought up a whole bunch of issues to them, and they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about. You're new to the field. You're still a fucking student." I'm like, "Yeah, but I might not know the industry as well as you guys know it, apparently, but I know how industries work, and I understand people's thought process. And you wanted to change everything, being a tiny company, and when you pitched it to, you know, other small companies, Google, Amazon, and they told you your idea would never work, and you guys still think it will work, maybe there's a chance that you should reevaluate shit, and they told me no, they'll change. I'm glad to see they're not changing. It brings me a small joy to know that I was right and they were wrong, and knowing for a fact that I checked up on them like a month ago, and then the last time I checked on them were like a year ago. First was it'll pop into my mind and I'll just like look up the company, and they have like a page on their website where it's just like all their like big contracts, and every single time I check up, that page just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and fewer companies and like big companies they had just disappear, and they're getting replaced with like small companies, and all like their big companies just start disappearing one by one. Makes me feel really good that I know I was right and they were wrong. They actually reached out to me a while back, like 9 months ago, saying that I like they wanted my opinion on some of their things because I was right on a lot of the shit I brought up to them. Left that email on fucking red. It's been like no, not 9 months, like 6 months. And I just left them on fucking red. Maybe I'll get back to them and just like, yeah, sure, let's talk. And I'll just sit down in the fucking office while they tell me I was right and be like, yeah, I'm not here to help you. I just wanted to hear you guys say I was right. I don't fucking know. I'm a petty bitch. I don't give a fuck. But hey, yeah, the one tech company I did enjoy working for, I did go back and help at one point. I worked as a private contractor for them for 9 months, and like to be fair, I did my job as a good employee and left them a fucking I think it was a 12-page book of shit I tried throughout experimenting. Um and then I learned like the last time I was there, like they spent like 6 months doing an idea that I told them wouldn't work because it was in the fucking book. Turns out the owner of the company just didn't think I knew anything and just never showed them the fucking document. And I showed it to them, and half their staff left. But to be fair, half their staff was 4 people. 2 people left because they were tired of being lied to by the owner because the owner was a piece of shit. But that's a story for another day. I could do a fucking 10-hour fucking podcast on them working at a company. I love the company. I love the people I work with. I just did not like the person that was in charge of decision making, and that person in charge of decision making was one of those people that thought they were just better than everybody else. So, hey. Anyways, Hearthstone. Enough about me talking about my life. If you guys want more stories about just my life and the shit I've lived through, maybe I'll make some content on that. But I started working on a video. It's gonna probably take me like 100 hours to just get the video recording for. 100 more hours. I spent so far like 6. I gave a hint, partially because it's in the type of content I like to watch. In the video, and I've talked about it in the past, but I'm currently working on a video about that. So if you guys can guess what it is, I will tell you in the comments. I'll make explicit point to answer anybody who has any questions on it. And if you guys, I'm gonna just straight up say it's about a game. If you guys can guess the game it's about, 1, I'd be fucking impressed. 2, I'll bring it up in a video. So have fun. Anyways, with all that being said, Uther Paladin. Uther Reno Paladin is. Turns out Uther is a good win con, but Paladin is just a really, really good class right now. So, with all that being said, give the deck a try. If you're used to playing Uther Paladin, it's a fresh breath. It's a breath of fresh air in comparison to most of the Paladin. I feel like I've ranted for the entirety of this video. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Anyways, I'm gonna end off here. This video's long enough. Hope you all enjoyed. If you guys did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as always. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see y'all on the next one, where hopefully we do more of that winning thing. Alright guys, yeah. Peace.